Hello YouTube vintage stereo collectors. I'm Across the Dial. That's my eBay handle, and I also have a website, acrossthedial.ca. My friends know me as Brian. Today I want to talk about stereo equipment. On the bench right now I have a late 60s Nikko. It's Japanese built. It's a model 40B, and it's kind of a combination of printed circuit boards and point-to-point hand wired. And I picked up a few amps recently, part of a collection, and some turntables. And what I basically do, I'm retired right now, so I do this as sort of a hobby type of business, sell them on eBay, or I sell them locally. And I've just been making some observations lately. I've been selling this vintage gear, and it's not to people that are 50, 60, 70 years old who had it back in the day, but it's to people in their 20s. And it's kind of interesting. I have a daughter that's in her 20s, and she has a vintage Kenwood KA2000 that I rebuilt, and some Minimus 7 speakers running off of it, and just loves the thing, listens to vinyl on an Audio-Technica turntable. So it's a small component system. But I've noticed what I've been selling has been going out to 20-year-olds who want to get into stereo. Now, I've been doing this a long time. I've learned a few things about them. And anything of this vintage, these capacitors, here's the big filters, and it's not plugged in and everything's drained, so that's why I'm touching it. Just for fun, I always replace these filters. There's the original 3000, there's a 3300. Same voltage rating, just see how much the components have changed. There's another filter in there, 1000, and the 1000 that's going to replace it. But this one actually kind of works. It's got some sizzling sounds, a little bit noisy, some hum that goes away as you listen to it. So it needs the filter capacitors for sure. I also, the switch contacts, for instance, are a big deal on these. So to clean everything, I usually use neutral, which is similar to deoxit. So cleaned all the switches on this, got rid of that crackle. Kind of interesting, the coupling transformers to the output stage. All germanium transistors. It has circuit breakers in the power and the speaker out to protect it. And a really nice build unit. Faceplate is actually machined aluminum, which is really nice. So this one should turn out nice. Machine aluminum knobs too. But I expect to sell this to somebody that's a lot younger than me. And this is one trend in particular. When I was selling and repairing, I worked in a very small store back in the early 80s. So I did some sales. I was on the bench because I was one of the ones that had college training on electronics. And at the time, you might buy an entry-level unit. Okay, it might be Kenwood, Yamaha, whatever. You'd buy the 20-watt unit to start out with. A year or two later, you go up to the 50, and you might end up with 100 a few years later. You're always upgrading bigger, more power, more features. But what I found recently is the ones that are in demand are the smaller entry-level units. This is a 15-watt per channel. The Kenwoods are really popular. Sansui, like the AU222. Every one of those I rebuild and I sell them $150 to $200 easily. And they work really nice. Great designs, heavy duty build, good components. It's usually capacitors and a bit of cleaning and tweaking to get them going. And a few years ago it was the tube sound. Collectors were moving from transistor into tube. And tube stereo equipment, especially the vintage stuff, of course there's reissue now, has become very expensive. And I think this is the thing, to buy a nice tube amplifier, about 15 watts a channel, like a Knight 935, something like that, a really nice rebuilt one, 300, 350, and even higher. And there also weren't as many of them built. But then there's the practical aspect of it. These run cool. They seem to have withstood the test of time. And it's very rare to ever change a transistor, whereas with tubes, you know, you test them, some are noisy, some are dead, some are okay. You almost need to have a supply of tubes, and of course, you know, they have a unique sound. But I noticed that, and my daughter has a Kenwood K2000 that we built for her. She likes the crisp transistor sound of the early 70s. Whereas in my opinion, I like the rounder, smoother tube sound. So, you know, of course it's a very personal thing. But anyway, this one, when it's done, I am sure that a new owner will really like it, and it will go on with a turntable hooked up to it and spinning vinyl. Anyway, thanks for watching, listening.